Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Real Reds Talk. Hope you're all doing really well. As it's Wednesday, we of course have our new regular head-to-head show for you lot, where me and Sam break down two players in a head-to-head comparison and form an opinion based off stats and the profile. The two chosen players we've gone with today is Ajax defender Jurrien and Villarreal centre-back Pau Torres. These guys are two centre-backs who's currently on our list at the moment. Timber being the main priority, I would say, but things have gone kind of quiet on him at the moment, so we never know. Pau Torres is a second option. Could be someone we're looking at. So obviously we thought we'd provide a bit of profile for you guys, and then you can make your own mind up kind of thing. If you are new to the channel or you're feeling generous, hit that subscribe button. We're pushing close to 200 subs now, so it would be amazing for the channel and the ever-growing community. So I pose this question to you lot. When we think of centre-backs, what are the main things that we look for in a player? Leadership, ability to read the game, physicality, athleticism, combative, good ball playing ability, should I say, and a solid chemistry with a defensive partner. All of the above spring to mind.
You are missing one.
Oh, go on.
Reliability.
Reliability, yes, very good. I like it.
There's no point in having a centre-back who's just injured all the time, not available. Because
is that a dig at Varane by any chance?
I mean,
you can take it with the captain.
Phil Jones.
Yeah,
take your pick. The amount of defenders we've got who are injury prone.
Yeah, it's a very good point. To be fair, reliability is definitely something that we want. And the weird thing is, Harry Maguire has actually been super reliable in terms of fitness, but performances on the pitch have just been that bad. No one cares about his reliability. So. No. It's one of them. But yeah, as I said, Sam will be taking a look at Jurrien, and I will be looking at Pau Torres. So just a quick player profile before we get into the stats. Pau Torres, 25 years old, a left-footed centre-back, Spanish international who plays for Villarreal and is valued around 55 million. Strengths include ball playing ability and ground duels. Weaknesses are aerial duels and playing against physical strikers. So what have we got for Timber, Sam?
Timber, I've gone a little bit different route with the sort of player profile. I've gone a bit sort of different. Jurrien David Norman, I didn't know his middle name is Norman.
Okay.
Norman Timber, Dutch professional footballer, plays as a defender for the Eredivisie club Ajax and the Netherlands national team. Mainly as a centre-back, but can also play as a right-back and a defensive midfielder when required. Made his senior debut for Ajax in a 3-0 win against Heerenveen on the 7th of March in 2020. Scored his first goal for Ajax against Emmen on the 2nd of May 2021. He was also selected to the Netherlands squad in Euro 2020, and he made his debut on the 2nd of June 2021 against Scotland. He started that game as well. He's born on 17 June 2001. He's 20, which makes you sick, doesn't it?
It's crazy,
absolutely,
that, isn't it?
It makes you sick.
2001. It's mental, absolutely mental.
51 appearances for Ajax senior team, 39 appearances for the Ajax young team. I think they're called Young Ajax. I think that's what they're called. And in terms of strengths and weaknesses, his strengths are ground duels, tackling, ball control. His weaknesses, he doesn't have many weaknesses, but one of the things that does get called out on occasion is the over aggressiveness of his play, which could be an issue. You don't want a centre-back who's just at risk of getting sent off or accumulating a lot of bookings, which then ends up in a suspension. So,
yeah, exactly. But I think maturity will come with age, as you know.
Like I said, he's 20 years old. So
so he's bound to be a little bit erratic, but he's a very good player nonetheless. Well, both of them who we're profiling are very good. And you'll see this now from the stats. So this is just based on the league. So obviously Jurrien Timbers will be Eredivisie, and then Pau Torres will be La Liga stats. So just this season in La Liga or Eredivisie. Pau Torres has played 33. How many's Timber played? Less,
30 matches, but he started 29 of them. So
yeah. So slightly less. I thought it might be with him being a younger player. How many clean sheets has he had? Because thing is, Pau Torres had 11.
Clean sheets, 16 clean sheets. So
okay.
That's like half his games. He's not conceding a goal, which is pretty impressive.
Well, to be fair, Ten Hag did have a decent record in terms of XG and stuff like that. So, yeah, interesting. Goals, again, it's the centre-back, so it's not mega important, but it's just nice to throw out there, because I was quite surprised, because Paul Torres has got 5.
Yeah, Timber's got 4. So,
oh, wow.
It's not bad for a centre-back. Like, it's always nice to have a centre-back who, especially like, say, a corner or a set piece or something, you can get his head on something or get on the end of something.
Yeah.
It's always nice to have another player besides your strikers and your attacking players who can score a goal. So it's a nice thing to have.
Which we're incredible at, by the way, set pieces, as we know. Absolutely amazing at him.
The amount of times Harry Maguire gets his head on something, and what's he got, like 2 goals for us?
He's one of the best at winning the ball. He's just one of the worst at heading the ball.
Nothing.
So it's like
nothing.
Is that the right word? Counterintuitive? Is that the right word? So he's so good at winning it, but then by the time he gets there, it's like he's dead hits it and he just fucking goes Rose or something. It's crazy. But again, I always go on about small details, Sam, in a season that need to, level you up a certain bit, whether it's going into Champions League or winning a league or staying in the league for that matter. Goals from centre backs can help. If you got 5 in that season, it's good for a centre back. That
like that game against Watford. Like, if we had a centre back that was capable of nodding something or getting something, that wins you the game, and that's another 3 points.
Exactly. So. Them stale nil. Liverpool did it loads last season. Yeah. They had them games that were 1-1, 0-0, and the Van Dijk scored a header or Matip scored a header in big finals as well. I think they did the League Cup or something. So set pieces and headers are really important. So interesting to see that they've both got 5 goals and 4 goals. In terms of discipline, yellow cards. Paul Torres has had 5 yellow cards.
He's had none.
None at all.
None at all.
Okay, which is strange because in the game, in the league, is that none at all, really?
Yeah, none at all in the league. Let me have a look at the Champions League. He might have had something.
That's crazy because he has got like an over-aggressive nature, but to think he's not been...
in the Champions League, he's got 3. So
right, okay, yeah.
But in the Eredivisie, he's got none. So
okay,
maybe they're a bit harsher in the Champions League. Maybe I
was just about to say that. Maybe
stuff go.
The refs in the Eredivisie are just like... Yeah, let's play on, mate. No worries. Interesting. Okay, touches per game. Let's go to that. 70.4 for Paul Torres. So how heavily involved is Timber? Is he more or less?
90.8.
Yeah, so involved in the build-up much more, which again is surprising to me because Paul Torres is really good on the ball and is important from playing out from the back for Spain and Villarreal. So I thought naturally he would be more involved. But
Ten Hag style, that's Ten Hag style, though, isn't it? He plays out from the back. He plays with his full backs. His centre backs like to push up and feed into the midfield.
Also, I suppose Unai Emery at Villarreal has more of like a very disciplined structure. Like he has everyone stay in the same position, whereas Timber kind of floats between that right back position and even pushes up to DM at times. So maybe that's why he has more touches in the game.
That's why he's versatile, and he can play right back, play DM because he's able to wander the sort of field, as it were, rather than
he's comfortable.
Like, you stay and you have about 10 yards either way that you can go, and that's it. So
in terms of aerial ability, what's his aerial duels like, Sam Timber?
Let's have a look. Sorry, you did my stats are just jumping all over the place.
Yeah, no problem.
If you go with Torres, and then I'll just find that.
Yeah, so Torres has got 1.8. That's 60%.
Yeah, so aerial just won is 1.5, which is 61%, but I suppose that's because he's probably had more games, hasn't he, Pau Torres? So
yeah, but Jurrien Timbers is still better, isn't it? Well, that 1% 1.5,
1.5, but it's 61%. But obviously, it's based on the amount of games played, so that's why the percentage might be a bit higher.
And as well, I think Timbers like 5'10".
Yeah, he's not a big lad.
He's not a big lad, but he's good in the air. He's actually decent in the air. Well, better than Paul Torres. Paul Torres is like 6'3", I think, something like that. Yeah. Ground duels. So Torres has got 2.2, 72%, much better in that department.
Yeah. Timber has 4.5, 69%. But again, this is one of his strengths. Is like ground duels. It's like it's always been one of his things. It's like he's very good at 4.5, 69% again because less matches, but higher 4.5 rather than, what was it, 2.9 did you say?
2.2, 72%. So they're both decent in that department. This is one I was really interested in because again they're both ball playing centre backs. So pass accuracy with Torres it's 51.4, 86%. For Jurrien.
Yeah, it's a bit lower. So 69.1, so 91%. So
Okay. No, so that's higher if he's got 91%.
Well, yeah, percentage wise though, but then statistically 69.1 is like lower per game. But in terms of his percentage of how many games he's played,
yeah,
it's higher. So it's
What
a
about-
weird way of working it out.
have you got own half and opposition half? Because these are important.
Yeah.
Because people can say, you can look at Lindorf's in the Atletico Madrid game, for example, right? His pass accuracy, I think, was like 90 odd percent. So people might look at that and think, oh, that's decent. But all the passes were sideways passes or back to the keeper.
It's like Scott McTominay won it. Like I think one game he had a pack accuracy of like 92%, but it's like when it's 5 yard, 10 yards sideways and backwards passing in your own half.
Like, so yeah, this will reflect that. So in his own half, Pau Torres is 92% on average pass accuracy, and in the opposition half, it's 76%, which is really good as well.
So 92% again in your own half, same for Timber, but in the opposition half, 91%, which is phenomenal good for a centre back.
Very effective. This is why I think Ten Hag was alluding to the fact that he could play as a CDM, as a DM in games, and he might have a point there. Who knows? Could be our future CDM. You might actually get your DM, Sam.
Oh God. I think that's why everybody, like, I know there was a little calling for Lindelof to play DM, wasn't there? Because he's got a pass on him, because he's a very good passer of the ball. But if he's versatile and he can step in occasionally, at, like, say we've got an injury or say substitutions or something like that, if he can step in, great. But I still want us to buy.
Yeah, of course, because then you're taking him away from the centre back, and then we're going to have to go buy another centre back, aren't we? But in terms of him playing there, he's definitely got to pay for it. I know he's 5'10", he's quite a small guy, but Kante doesn't look like The Rock, does he? Do you know what I mean? So different kind of bodies, different kind of players. Interceptions per game, 0.6.
Interceptions,
which I thought was low, but I'm not entirely sure. Is Timbers better? I'm guessing.
I'm just trying to find it.
So I'll do interceptions per game. I'll do tackles per game as well. So tackles per game is 1.0.
Why can't I find this? So tackles per game 2.4.
2.4
for Timber, which is pretty decent.
Yeah, again, excelling again.
Oh, there we go. Interceptions 1.7.
1.7 again, better. He's better than him in most fields, if I'm being completely honest. Looking at it, and he's younger, much younger. I know the Eredivisie is probably less competitive than La Liga, I'd say. But still, they are impressive stats then. Very impressive. What have we got next? Errors leading to goal. So Torres has only got one in that department.
Yeah, he's only got one.
One as well. Possession lost 9.9 times per game.
Where are we? Possessions lost.
But they're both similar.
8.9, so not far off.
So less,
Less, but not far off.
They're similar in certain departments, but so far Tim is accelerating there, isn't
it? I think he's beating him in pretty much
75%, 80%. Yeah. Clearances per game, 3.1.
So he's a lot more because Timber's only got 1.4. So I think that's playing styles are very different. Like, I think, like you said, Unai Emery plays a very pragmatic game. Yeah. And it's like if the ball comes in, you just hoof it and get it out. Yeah. It's not. Whereas I think Ajax could afford, they could take a touch, take it down, and then start a counter attack or something. So
just to let the viewers know watching, I keep sniffing up his allergies. I'm not a cocaine addict, by the way. It's been running all day.
Let's not have another nosebleed on the air.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get through a stream without having a nosebleed. Looking at them stats, Sam, in my personal opinion, Pau Torres is a decent option, still a good option. 25 years old, not too young, not too old, could slot right into the team. Would suit Ten Hag's system as well as Timberwood, but for balance as well when you're building up, if you have that left-footed centre back, like Pep has Laporte at Man City, it's easy to build up when you've got that balanced structure. So I think that'd be a positive in his favour.
Yeah.
His price tag worries me because I think it's been quoted 55 to 60 million. Be kind of like, if you're paying that money out, you got to think we paid 80 million for Maguire, and I don't want to keep going back to Harry Maguire, but there's that very cautious kind of feeling about it where you go spend 60, you expect him to hit the ground running and really be like a colossal player in that defence. So Timber for half the price. And when you look at the stats as well, it's kind of like
and he's younger and he's played under Ten Hag before. So it's like everything sort of kind of leans. I think Pau Torres is a very good sort of secondary option. Like if Ajax decide to play hardball or Timber decides I don't want to go, I want to stay at Ajax for another year. And I'm sure like it was the guy who went to Dortmund, Schlotterbeck. I think he was very highly touted. Again, young centre-back defender, but like Dortmund always do, they snatch up the best young players before anybody can get him, which is...
Including Bellingham when we tried to get him.
Yeah, highly irritating, just pain in the ass. And I think Monaco do the same thing. I saw a statistic. I think they sold like Tuchemeni, Martial, like so many different players. And I think it was like 68 billion pounds or something like that. It's just an absolute insane amount of money that it made. I think it was 6.8 billion. Sorry, not 6.
Well, they had Mbappe as well. They had Bernardo Silva.
Yeah,
they had Mendes. They had so many.
Again, Paul Mitchell is that one of the he's a
sporting director.
Sporting director in charge of their recruitment and stuff. And it's just like that's the kind of model we need to follow. We need to follow Dortmund model and the Monaco model. I think Jurrien is a very nice option. And if he only costs us 35, 40 mil, fine. I'm all right with that. I think it's a very good buy and I think it's a very good option. But like you said, if we're paying 50 odd mil for Pau Torres, I think there's better, younger, hungrier and guys that we can mold and sort of build up for less money.
Yeah. It's a weird one. Like just going back to the comments you made then about the Dortmund thing and who's the other team you mentioned as well? It was Dortmund and Monaco. I would love to have a structure like that to bring in young players around Europe and these diamonds. I just think because of the type of club we are, how commercial we are, and the state that we're in at the minute, it's hard to just Thanos it. Do you know what I mean? We always reference Thanos in the show. I don't know why, but it's hard to
Adam's favourite subject matter.
Yeah. So I'd love us to do it, but I can't see it happening with the way
I think you could have a combination. I think if they want to, obviously they want to protect because the Glazers want to pump it for like as much money out as they want possible out of the club. So I think you can still sign those big players, like maybe do one every summer. Like you got your Trailblaze signing, your signature signing, and then for the rest of the thing, you go around and you do it smartly. You get somebody like Paul Mitchell to sort of scout, make sure this player could develop for this style. This is good. Like these might be one to go on to buy, but then to loan out and all this different stuff. But you can still then bring in superstars. You can still then bring in the odd ready-made, hit the ground running player as well. So I don't think it has to be one way or the other, particularly.
A little quick fact on the Glazers. So I've seen it before. 2005, the debt was in 558 million. 2022, 596 million. In interest paid, 800 million. Dividends paid, 200 million. Total taken out, 1 billion. Total debt paid off, minus 38. Like, yeah, it all falls back to them. But yeah, going back to the players we're discussing, would Pau Torres have the physicality as well? Like we discussed, his aerial duels and he's weak in the air and that kind of stuff. And when you're coming up against strikers like Antonio and players like
he's going to have Haaland as well to deal with.
Haaland as well. Lukaku if he stays at Chelsea, but let's be honest, he's not exactly pulling up trees. He's probably going back to it now. At this point, I just feel like, let's say if City was to sign Pau Torres, I think he'd do really well for him. I think he'd slot right in. It's safe Laporte got injured, had like a long-term injury, which I wouldn't wish upon anyone, even though I was a City player. If he was to just replace Pau Torres for Laporte straight away, I don't think there'd be a mega difference. And Laporte's a good player. It's just you look at everything's leaning towards Timber in it. In summary, really.
I think City though can spend 50 mil on a centre back, and if it doesn't work, they can go right. He's fucking gone.
Exactly.
Like how much did they spend on Nathan Ake?
Yeah, so they paid 40 million for Nathan Ake.
Yeah, so like he's played what game? 2 games? 3 games?
Feels like it. Yeah, he's probably played more if you're being honest. Yeah. But he's not. So
they can afford to do that, and City fans don't question it. They don't. There's no media thing going, oh, he spent 40 million on this and he doesn't play. Yeah. If United did that, Pau Torres spent 50 million on him and he doesn't play, every week about why is Powers United spending money on defenders, can't get it right, but like just be all this like hype and just bullshit around it, and it's just like you can't afford to do that when you're United because it's too much pressure on it. So you have to be smart. If you're spending 50 million, you have to be super sure that they're going to work.
Yeah, that's my point. It's high risk in it, and the way we are at the moment, we need players to hit the ground running, and there's a much more likelihood of that happening if he goes and gets Timber because he's worked with him before. It's a player he trusts. I do think Paul Torres is better than Lindelof and Maguire, but we shouldn't just sign a player because they're better. We should sign a player because they're the best available.
It works for the team and the system that you're going to play.
Exactly.
Which we haven't done since Fergie left, really. It's like sign players and then there's no plan, there's no cohesiveness, there's no idea in place. And then it's like we've been saying for months, it's a mishmash of 4 different managers at this point, just all fucking shoved into thing. And then we wonder why we haven't got a team and there's no unity in it because everybody's playing for themselves. So,
and I see this all the time with the likes of like Fred and McTominay, and they say, well, he's better than them, so you might as well get him. And it's like, well, John McGinn's better than them, but would you go sign him now? Would you make him a mainstay in that team? Is he the level of a Fabinho or Rodri or Casemiro? He's not. There's nowhere near that. You need the next one of them. Who can we just mention whilst we're on the show now? Jurrien going to Madrid. How heartbroken I am. Like, I know we was discussing in the group chat that it wasn't a possibility or even a reality, let's say, but what a player watch how good of a player he becomes at Real Madrid. Like,
I posted a picture in our group chat of just like Real Madrid's midfield. It's like Casemiro, Cruz, Modric, Tuchel, Camavinga, Valverde, and I posted ours, and it's just like it's laughable, absolutely laughable. For like what the fuck our midfield looks like compared to that.
That's what I'm saying. And let's not even mention De Jong because that'll be done. That'll be another Jadon Sancho that in 2 years time.
2 years.
It's taking so long, man. Transfers in general, man, they're just taking ages. Why do we take so long on deals?
Madrid have rebuilt their midfield in about a year.
Weeks. Well, they brought Camavinga in last year.
And they signed Tony, Cruz, and Modric new deals. Is Valverde from the academy?
I'm not entirely. I'm not sure if he's from the academy, but he's like 24. He might be actually, but he's like 24, 23, but a good age.
They brought in Tuchel as well, and it's just like it took him a year, and they've got one of the best midfielders on the planet. And we've been dicking about since Fergie, trying to sort a midfield, and we haven't done it.
Exactly. And you saw how good Camavinga was, even when he was coming on as a sub. The impact he had in that game against City, I think he came on and just changed the game completely. And even the game before that, like they look like really promising players. Jurrien would have been my absolute top priority as a signing. If I was United, I would have done everything to go and get him. I know Liverpool were in for him as well, and PSG actually offered him the best wage. But he was in love with Madrid and he wanted to go there. Same thing with Camavinga. They still have that pull
club. It's the pull of clubs, isn't it?
Both of them, the Spanish clubs, they will be back on top, honestly, because they both have that pull. Maybe Barcelona take a bit longer because Madrid have just won the Champions League and then they've gone and signed Jurrien on top of that. And I'm sure they'll do even more business. So scary times. But I just wanted to say on Jurrien, I'm a little bit sad.
Yeah. Well, I won't mention Bouba Kamara because it'll just annoy me as again. So
Well, that's going to be like a slap in the face every time you watch Villa. You know, when you watch Match of the Day or you see me, if we're playing.
If he's really good, it's definitely going to be a slap in the face. If he's shit, then it's fine. I'm all right with it. But
we've got our fingers crossed for transfers. Let's see what happens in the next couple of weeks.
So if you're offered right now on a plate, Torres, Timber, who are you going?
Prior to this head-to-head, I was looking at both and I'd be like, I wouldn't mind either. I've watched them both play closely. I like the style of play. I like how consistent they are. Rarely get injured. You know, you got Timber who's versatile, Paul Torres who's would help with balance in the defence. But I don't know, everything's leaning towards Timber in it. The price tag is worked with Ten Hag before. Statistics. Age profile, everything's on his side. So you have to go with Timber. There's no other kind of thing. Like it's not a clean slate. It's not a clean win like a 100% Timber. I'd probably say 80-20 Timber to Torres.
You got to think as well, Yeah, everything you said, I agree with. I think Timber's clearly the favourable candidate. But again, you got to think who his partner's going to be, because we're going to need a centre-back partnership. And that's the big question, because Varane, fantastic, great player. If 100% fit, Varane and Timber, that's a hell of a centre-back pairing.
Yeah.
But he's not. He's played for France recently. He's already injured. So you've got to think, is Lindelof good enough to play with Timber? Is that the right pairing?
That's the one I was just about to say. But then you've got a very small defense.
Yeah.
You've got Lindelof's what, 6 foot, something like that. You've got Timber who's 5'10", aerial. Like, if they're coming up against a Matip and Van Dijk in the box, they're going to get dominated. But I wouldn't mind a bit of Timberlof, you know. I wouldn't mind a bit of that. I don't mind it as a centre back partnership.
Yeah, and it's like that's your option, and then the other option is Harry Maguire. And you saw his form last year, and if Timber has to deal with that and just constantly be absolutely panicking every time because his centre back partner is just absolutely shit in the bed, that's not gonna fill him with confidence. That's not gonna be able to play his best. He's just gonna be constantly worrying and not be able to do what he does best. So yeah, I think that's a big question. It's like, who are we gonna pair him with? Are we gonna sort Varane's injury issues out?
Can you sort him?
Can they fix him?
I think he's got injured again on international duty for France.
That's what I just said then.
Sorry. My bad.
Or can Ten Hag improve Lindelof to a point where he's a very good centre-back? Like, he's a decent centre-back, don't get me wrong, but he's not
world-class level.
He's not Van Dijk. He's not Laporte. He's not
Rudiger.
Ruben Diaz. Like, he's not any of that level. So can he improve him? And then the other side of it is, can Ten Hag get Harry Maguire to the level that he plays for England? Because he's fantastic for England, plays really well.
Stylistically, if you look at Timber and Maguire, if Maguire was performing to the levels that he was with England and stuff, I think that would work. I think they'd complement each other for what they lack in their game. Maguire obviously bringing his aerial presence, physical, like reading the game.
He's good on the ball as well, Maguire. Like, when he's on the ball, he's very good. Yeah. Like, he's comfortable on it. He likes to run forward. He can sort of pass to a decent level. So if you can get him playing with confidence and playing well, that could be the ideal centre-back pairing.
But I'll ask this to the viewers as well. One, who would you prefer? So this is to the guys watching. Who would you prefer out of Pau Torres and Timber? Let us know your choice and let us know why whoever it is you picked, why you picked him. And then the other question I wanted to ask, in 6 months' time, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to these videos and have a look at our predictions and see how far off we was or whatever. Who do you think will be our centre-back partnership?
I think
it's hard to guess, isn't it? Because you can't pick the midfield combo. You can't pick the centre-back partnership.
Because we don't know we're going to sign. We don't know we're going to sign. So if we sign Timber and we don't sign another centre-back, which could happen. It's likely to happen. I think the start of the season, he starts with Timber and Maguire. I think that's his starting centre-back pairing. I think later on in the season, we could end up with, again, this switch around thing of like Timber, Lindelof, or Timber, Varane, depending on Varane's fitness level. If Maguire's form continues the way it has done this season, the season just gone. So I think we could be in a tricky situation.
That's what I'm worried about.
If Varane's injuries don't improve and if Maguire's form doesn't improve, we're in a tricky situation, because then we've only got Timber, brand new to the team, trying to knit that defense together, because I don't see us buying a fullback. I think we should, but I don't see us buying one, because I don't think Wan-Bissaka's fit for purpose. I don't think Tellez is fit for purpose. Shaw's form, God knows what that's going to be like.
You could go for the full team, couldn't you? And you could just say, like, there's so many out of the starting 11. There's one or two players where you'd be like, right, he can stay in. Maybe you can.
And there's a couple of them who you're like, I'd rather they didn't, but you have nobody else, so we're not going to buy anyone. Like De Gea, I'd rather not have De Gea, but we're going to have him because he's not going to buy a goalkeeper. Dalot, I don't think is a world-class. He's decent and he's got some qualities, but I don't think he's a world-class right-back. Yeah. But we're going to have to stick with him because we're not going to buy one. So it's...
Left-back, sorry, you said right-back then. Just a finger.
Dalot's a right-back.
Oh, you said Tellers, didn't you?
Yeah, no, I said Tellers before, but I just said
Oh,
Dallo
right.
then.
Mate, sorry. My whole thing's well off.
But it applies to Tellers as well. Like, but if he's was terrible, like while Luke Shaw was out, absolutely terrible.
So bad. Oh.
And then Luke Shaw before that was not great either.
Oh.
So if Luke Shaw doesn't come back to form, left back, we've got nobody on left back because both of them are just not up to it. So it's just like
maybe we can do a show to predict the starting 11 for the first game. That'd be interesting because it's going to be so before we sign anyone as well. Maybe we'll do that and then see who can get the closest to it because it's gonna, all 4 of us, 5 of us on the show is probably going to be way off, absolutely miles off because I don't have confidence in a minute. The way it's being dragged out in the transfer market, I don't have a clue. Genuinely don't have a clue who we're going to get. I was a little bit confident towards the back end of May because you was hearing murmurs around De Jong and Timber, and then like per 2-3 weeks of just fucking dragging it out completely. So. Yeah, I don't have any confidence in Manchester United.
It's like that time as Sancho won it. It was just like, we're all like, yeah, it's happening. It's definitely happening. Yeah. And it didn't happen. And it's just like...
It's the hope that kills you because I always, refer back to it. We had such a bad end to the season that you need something. You need a signing to be like, smile about because we've had fuck all to smile about as fans. So United...
Sign somebody who shows the intent and the path that you want, you're going to take. Absolutely. Sign somebody like Timber, sign somebody like a DM, sign somebody like Darwin Núñez. If you sign one of those players, fans will be like, right, we're going somewhere.
We'll get on board,
picking the right player, and we'll be a little more patient. But at the minute, fans are getting a bit restless because there's all this talk and nothing's happening.
Exactly.
So people get frustrated.
I'm just being cautiously optimistic at the moment because I think I've seen things, like I said in the last show, behind closed doors that were saying that they're trying to keep these deals under wraps and they're progressing well, but
I hope so.
Not leak it out to journalists. So that could potentially be happening. So I'm trying to not judge straight away. I'm trying to give it a bit of time. It's just I'm lacking patience.
I'm the opposite, and I'm cynical until proven otherwise.
Yeah.
And I want to be proven wrong.
It's
I would like somebody to tell me I'm wrong about it, but
why wouldn't you be cynical, Sam, when you've seen what's happened the past 10 years? Like, what else is it to be? It's understandable. So, but going back to the centre backs, it's a really interesting debate. I know the guys we discussed. I know Pau Torres is more of the niche option, maybe, and people might look at him and think he'd suit us better for tactical reasons, or you may say certain qualities that Timber doesn't have. Either way, guys, let us know in the comment section what centre back you want. And let us know what you thought of the head-to-head as well. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more quality content like this. Sam, where can you find us on socials and what shows have we got coming up?
Oh, like how many? Whatever social networks you're on, we're on it. Yeah. Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Obviously watching YouTube right now, so we're on YouTube. Yeah. We're on Twitch. We started Twitch recently, so we stream not always football games. We do stream FIFA on the YouTube channel every Thursday. Which will be tomorrow night, by the way. That's tomorrow night when you're watching this. So check that out. And then on Twitch, we stream everything really. Adam's streamed time of recording, streamed Call of Duty on the Twitch channel. Really fun stream. Didn't go well for him, but it was fun to watch. Yeah. I've streamed Cyberpunk. I'm probably going to stream Assassin's Creed because I've just got a new one, so that'll be on there. Shreyas is going to stream some stuff as well soon. So yeah, all sorts of stuff happening. Go watch all of it. There's some really good videos on the channel, so please go watch them, like them, leave your comments, send us a DM on Instagram, send us a DM on Twitter. Have a chat. We're always open to talk about football as well. So great, super fun, super informative, and super quick. As Goldilocks would say, this one's just right. We will see you in the next one, guys. And make sure you join me and Adam for the FIFA stream tomorrow. We've got Eric 10-bag career mode, and it's going off. It's absolutely going off. It's not started well. No, it's not started well, but the signings are coming in. We're actually making deals, unlike United's board in reality. So, yeah, make sure you come and join us for that. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Peace.